on the field, no trombone guy getting trampled going into the end zone, but how about how they got it done and turned it into a touchdown?
And that's one of those things where if that's a fumble on a lateral, the coach is angry, but if it works and you get in the end zone, it's a pat on the back, right?
It's something you have to do. You got to try it, try and get it done, and make sure you give yourself every chance to find a way to score.
Rosas good with the extra point. So we have reached halftime here at a good one. 10-10 is our score. As now we send you out to Orlando and hook back up with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Matthews, the return. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. The Giants offense now gets ready to head back onto the field. They have a chance to break our tie here as we get a look at the first drive of quarter 3.
And it's such a tone setter, isn't it? Because both sides trying to seize momentum to begin the half. What do they have dialed up that'll give them an advantage to move the ball downfield?
Let's find out what they have dialed up. First down, Kaiser. This one complete to Giovanni Bernard. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first. Kaiser on first down. He'll be brought down by the Broncos. It's a sack. Von Miller able to disrupt yet another pass play. His third sack of the afternoon. Well, the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20. From the gun, Kaiser. Looking downfield for Jones. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down. So, Charles, tie game here. What are your keys as we continue to play this second half?
I know people think it's always trite when you say the same things over and over, but they're tried and true in the game of football. Who's going to block better? Who's going to tackle better? In this case, to me, it's turnovers. You've got to take care of the football in order to win the game.
The Giants on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and a mile. They go play action. Kaiser. He's going to rifle one deep left side. So they took a shot there on 3rd down. Couldn't get it. Now it's 4.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball. And we see yet another errant throw as a result.
And the Giants send out their punter now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. A big boot that time. 57 yards the official distance. And it'll be 1st and 10 Broncos from deep in their own territory. So now a look at the Broncos as they head back out there for their first possession of the second half. Their defense did its job, yielded no points. Now it's the offense's turn.
And how much fun is that when you set things up to start a half and you just tell you guys, hey, if you can shut them down, get it back for our offense, we can roll. And they played out perfectly. Now, can the offense do what they wanted to do at the half, which is find those weaknesses and now attack them and score some points.
And break this tie. They'll try and get the run game going. This is Miller. And a short pickup here as he'll get across the 10 to the 11-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
They'll set up a throw. He's going to air one out. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Strong safety Landon Collins, the one who got a hand in there, knocked it away.
What has not been the best game for him, but he definitely tried to get by with a little help from his friend there, trying to create a big play.
Couldn't do it, fell incomplete, but you're right, hasn't been a banner game here in the second half, just trying to get going.
Big thing is trying to keep confidence up and continue to fire.
So the failure to connect on second down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. They're going to look to throw. And Sutton hauls it in over the middle. And he's able to get this one all the way past the 30. A good pickup there at 22.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. First down carry now for Miller. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
So statistically, both of these offenses having a rough time getting a running game going. But boy, what a nice play there defensively.
Tackling him behind the line, but you're right, you look at the numbers. Neither side looks on track in the ground game. They'll run it again with Miller. And he'll be limited to a short gain up to about the 34-yard line. Give him 3 on the play, and they're going to have a 3rd down.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And who's got it? The Giants. So he went out of the pocket left, and then things got dicey.
And what often happens is when they get outside, they want to keep their eyes downfield in order to try and complete a pass. But when they try to make a play, they've got to get their footwork involved. And that can really mess them up as well. And in this case, nothing went right, and the ball got knocked free. Now Mack. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success. Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. In trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down. 2nd down, Kaiser. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. Well, this at least is the right idea. I think they've got to get the tight end more involved. He had just 1 target in the first half, incomplete. Now incomplete here with the first target in the second half. Yeah, should not stop them at all from going back to him, though. Find him. Find him. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10. I would expect to see some pressure here. The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. And that one's going to be over everybody in the back of the end zone. It's incomplete. Well, struggles continue. Open targets, and he keeps missing them, pressing way too much. He may have a big arm, but until he learns how to harness it and have some touch, he's going to continue to struggle. The offense staying out there. They look prepared to go here on 4th and 10. Let's go! Working out of the gun. Here's Kaiser. And the Broncos get there and take him down. The Giants go on 4th but come up empty. And the Broncos will take over on downs. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll start out on the ground. It's Lamar Miller. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. That'll be caught right side by Hamilton. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for third down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
The Broncos on third down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. They'll run here. It's Murray. And he'll be brought down at what's going to turn out to be the final play of this third quarter. Welcome back now to Denver. Knotted up here at 10. That's our score as we begin quarter number 4. We saw a number of good games earlier today. This one might top all of those. It's been a dandy as we come up on 1st and 10. They go with Murray again. And he's going to get this past the 50 and into Giant territory. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Come on, let's go. What? 90. What? 90.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he's got this down a yard or 2 shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another 1st down with that run.
So 2 first downs, and that moves the ball to the 42 now, 1st and 10.
What? 90. What? 90. Check. Flex round.
Now a handoff to Miller. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Tackle made that time by B.J. Hill.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on 2nd down.
Ohio.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. He's got this complete to Hamilton. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. That one going for a gain of 11 and a Bronco 1st down.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Let's go. What? 90. What? 90.
Now they try the right side here. Space to run past the 20. And he's going to get it down to the 14-yard line. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18.
Whenever we meet with coaches and they always talk about wanting to establish running the football, it's oftentimes with a good tight end who can control the line of scrimmage and the point of attack, and they're becoming harder to find because the colleges are giving us a whole lot of receiving tight ends, former wide receivers who can run, not necessarily block very well. In this case, though, we saw 2 tight ends on the field, both of them with the ability to block, and he ran the ball successfully behind that power set.
Right back to him on 1st down. And this time the yards won't come so easy as they'll, in fact, tackle him behind the line. And now, defensively, they're going to burn their first timeout. Remember, they get an extra time built in coming up here shortly at the 2-minute warning. And on the ground they go with a running back. Slipped one tackle, but no more as he's knocked to the deck behind the line of scrimmage. And this defense here going to burn their second timeout. But you can also factor in another timeout that they'll get when the clock stops at the 2-minute warning. Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long.
Let's go. White, 90. White, 90. Hot. Hot. Hot.
Back to throw here. Open man here is Hamilton. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, baby.
Time for a break. We'll come back and see how it all shakes out after this. So now one of the biggest kicks of the night is forthcoming. This for the lead in the final stages. And McManus able to put it through. And they have taken the lead here in the final 2 minutes. Big kick right there to give them the lead in the 4th, but there is still time left for a final drive.
Did they score too soon? Post-game will tell us, right? Depending on what happens on this drive, that's how we'll analyze it. If the other team scores, they scored too soon. If they somehow hold on, they managed the clock exactly right.
Now out come the Giants. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. But good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go.
And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off by Justin Simmons. And his guys are going to take over at the 21-yard line.
And that one, it's going to hurt big time. You're in the 2-minute drill trying to get your guys down the field, and it's looking like they're going to go up just short, as this is definitely not his best throw. And it'll wind up being intercepted.
Flex round. Flex round.
They begin with a run by Miller. And he will lose yardage on the play. Back at his own 19-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12.
Come on, let's go. White, 90. White, 90.
They keep it on the ground, but this time it's Murray. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. It's a gain of 14 there, and that should be enough to get him home free.
And, Brandon, this is where it pays to have a big back who can take over a football game, especially in the 4th quarter when you've got the lead, your ability to not just wear people down, but close games out.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? Now, hold on a second. Why would they decline that? Charles?
I don't have a good answer for you, but let's work the math here a little bit. If you take the penalty, you get 5 yards. Minimum.
You're in the positive in the yardage, and you get to rerun the down you just had.
I like that. I like that little extra on top of the whole thing. This makes 0 sense.
The win for the Broncos seemingly assured. They go down to a knee. And Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here. Season here in week 4. They will hit the road next week for a date with the Oakland Raiders.